This is the beautiful gamepad on the Lithium Project channel. I am Lithium Project, and today on this installment, well, over the next two installments anyway, we are looking at Three Lions, published by Take-Two. You may have heard of them. Really interesting couple of games here. Now, obviously, like, there's probably no point me doing, say, you know, FIFA 2002 for the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like there might still be a bit of a jump between them. But something like this here, where we've got a PlayStation game and a Game Boy Color game, I think that's like, there's enough separation between how those things would play that I think that's worth both of these being looked at. And not only that, the Game Boy Color game in particular, Tarantula Studios at one point was either what afterwards would become, like, it is a subsidiary of Rockstar. Rockstar Lincoln, I think, is what they ended up becoming. And so I think that's really interesting to see, like, alright, Rockstar making a football game for the Game Boy Color in 1999. What does that look like? Obviously, it's not Rockstar North, but still. But again, published by Take-Two. This series this game has a couple of different names. But Three Lions is the one that I'm obviously most pivotal with because that's the European release. And I really remember when this thing was like around. Like, there was a pretty big marketing campaign and push for it because, you know, this is like 98, so we are still in the kind of heady, dizzying heights of England's Euro 96, getting to the semi-finals, the heartbreak of losing to Germany, and that World Cup qualifying campaign. And the thing about that is like, for me at least, kind of my really like formative years of getting into football and having an interest in football. I was very much aware of it beforehand, but it was definitely that period there where I was like really into watching the England football national team, and then everything that obviously would come with, like, the World Cup and the sort of like explosion of Michael Owen onto the international stage, the fallout with Beckham, you know, us kind of petering out as we did against Argentina. And they're all like very formative memories for me, and so like Three Lions and that team, that's all like, it all kind of sticks for me. And this game was around that time and definitely was like capitalizing, I guess, on the momentum and whatnot. And, you know, like, we're still in the era where the FIFA games were, you know, coming thick and fast, but they, you know, still wasn't quite the juggernaut that it would eventually become. So, but I never played it. I never had it. I remember seeing it. I remember being really interested in it. I remember wanting a copy of it, but FIFA 98 was the game that I had of, like, my 3D football games, like, early on, that I got for me. And then a year or two after this, I would get into wrestling, and I was more into, like, playing wrestling games than football games. And then didn't play, like, a lot of football games, actually, for a fair few years, now I think about it. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to do the Game Boy Color one first. And then in the next video, we'll do the PlayStation 1, because that's kind of the main event here, really. And again, with this series, there's no kind of strict rules that we play by, you know, whatever kind of feels right in the moment. And with this, I think it just makes sense to get both the Three Lions out of the way while they're fresh in the memory. And also, I don't think, and specifically with the PlayStation 1, from what I've seen over the years of watching people play it and whatnot, I don't think that this is going to be sniffing around those top spots. So, like, let's get out of the way. And I'm going to try and probably do quite a few, PlayStation games, because we've got a lot to get through. Like, so many. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Summer Edition Red Bull White Peach Energy Drink, because I don't like normal Red Bull. Oh. But the other flavors they do, I think they have like an elderflower one. I'm quite a big fan of that. So, but I haven't had white peach. So let's first of all do the quick taste test. Not sure about the aftertaste, but that first punch has a nice kick to it. Sometimes you've got to do that second taste test too. Yeah, no, the after punch isn't great. But it will do. It will do. Anyway, let's get to some football games, hey? Alright, how are we doing for sound? Alright, should be good. This is Three Lions. So if you've ever played the PlayStation 1 version, you might be aware of the intro of that uses Ocean Color Scene. I think the entire soundtrack's done by them. I might be wrong. I can't quite tell what this is trying to riff off of, but I do like the fact that this is just like going into a game for me. Is this just gonna like start a demo match? I've never seen a game do this before. Like, obviously you see games quickly go to some footage to show you what you're about to play, but I've never seen it do the actual setup beforehand. Let's find out. This is what we have to look forward to. Oh, and that's what we get. Okay, fine. Sure. Yep, Take Two, Interactive. Tarantula Studios. Yeah, I think Rockstar Lincoln is what they'd end up becoming. Alright, what do we have here? I don't appreciate the fact that the faces in the crowd can be best described as the children in the wall. That's kind of haunting. The song's got a bop to it though. Alright, let's get into a game. Naturally, we'd be stuck on England and Germany, something we wouldn't go over for like 25 odd years. Where should we go? Well, I by no means am any kind of geography expert, but I know that Australia and Asia are two separate continents. Maybe that space saved on space or something. What teams do we have to work with? Australia, China, India, Iran, Japan, Korea Republic, Saudi Arabia. Not a lot. Go on Japan. Let's do it. We got real players though. They are absolutely the real deal. So that's feels kind of not shocking, but kind of surprising for like a Game Boy Color game. But you know, it is. It's got 3 Lions on it. If there was any game that you was gonna have like the English national team actually represented, this would be the one. Just to confirm, that background is hideous, by the way. Alright, look, just from the brief bit of gameplay footage we got, I'm not expecting much from this. Are they doing like what's the New Zealand thing they do in the rugby? Was that what they were doing? Alright, let's see what we got here. So no crowds. No noise like that. We've got 8-way movement. The running animation looks dreadful. It's kind of hard to tell that I actually have the ball. I think that billboard had a Lynx advert on it. So even in a Game Boy Color game. Yeah, was that Ericsson? It's kind of hard to tell. It was upside down. How do we shoot? Because I've kind of got lobbing. Boy. They all seem to lob. Every button I have here just lobs. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, maybe that was that. Like what? How did I foul? Yeah, every button's just a lob button. And even being remotely in distance when slide tackling. What was he? What? I was not fouled there. It's got the similar issue to... Jesus, which game was it? One of them now, I don't even remember. Where there's no additional, like, I keep forgetting to use words. There's no additional, like, area for your collision box. So you have to, like, be right on top of the ball to connect to it. Have I got to be, like, on the goal line? Because otherwise I'm just going to hoof it over the bar every time. Thankfully, the AI is quite rubbish. He says, hubris, hubris incoming, hubris incoming. Yeah. Look, it's better than Striker Pro. For whatever that's worth. And the actual like movement is pretty slick. It would be nice if the ball rotated. You know, that was a thing we were doing by this point. Even like the Game Boy games had that figured out. Oh, that was fast forward on the emulator button. I'm trying to work out like what the icons above the players mean. Like maybe that's a way that you can change. Like what does F mean? Fast? Foot? What does D mean? Because D does not mean lob. Like, I'm trying to think, is there, like, ways you can change the type of kick you're doing by cycling through the letters? And also, you totally tackled me from behind there. I'm just going to try and run into the goal. Oh, is that a penalty? What? How the fuck did I foul? I shot. That was a foul. Or maybe if I just... I'll take it. I'll take an own goal. That might be the first own goal we've had, actually, in 34, 35 videos of doing this. But I will take it nonetheless. Hoof it from the halfway line. It can't hurt. I don't even know if it would be possible to do a header or I feel like a bicycle kick would be quite advanced. Jeez. Yeah, Shiro's the man of the match. I mean, they all look the same. It's hard to tell. I'm so curious about, you know, if you were a developer during this time and you have this on your resume, like I have one game under my belt now, and it's one I'm incredibly proud of because it's like, you know, my heart, my passion, my soul went into that. How much you feel, because you must know that like a Game Boy Color port of a not very good PlayStation game is, it's probably not what you aspire to when you were wanting to make video games, you know? And like this is 99, I think. I think 3 Lines the PS1 game is 98, the Game Boy Color game is 99. So we are like, we have good video games at this point. We have very good video games at this point. You know, not even including the all-timers of the early 90s, like your Mario Worlds, your Zeldas and whatnot. Like, we still have a pretty good solid back catalogue of PlayStation games and N64 games by this point. Yeah, we are in a post like Ocarina of Time world now, and Super Mario 64 and GoldenEye. And so you must be looking at this and just thinking, man, where did I take a wrong path here? Anyway, that's just some musings to myself. In regards to this, though, obviously this is terrible. I'm curious about like what the letters refer to, if they're symbolic or something, if there's a mechanical feature to it, or I'm just, you know, what I would do for a training mode on this sort of thing. Not figuring out how to be able to pass or shoot is obviously a problem. The top down in general is just not ideal for games, but it does make sense when working with limitations in terms of like not having to deal with crowds, and you have like less real estate that you have to be rendering one time on the screen. So I understand that, but just as a way to play a game, like my obviously World Championship Soccer I have very high, but I think there's a lot of that is more based on nostalgia than anything. But yeah, no, this sucks. Oh, but where to put you? Because again, you're better than the Striker Pro. I doubt anything. I fucking hope nothing is as bad as Striker Pro. But I said the same about FIFA International Soccer. And you're probably better than 442 Soccer. And you're probably better than FIFA International Soccer. Because, like, at least it moved at a solid frame rate and didn't feel like I was playing the game at, like, 0.25 times speed. And I don't remember enough about FIFA Soccer 97 at this point, because those two sort of, like, intertwine quite heavily. But just for the banter of it, because I did it with the other two earlier up top, I'm going to slap it in between these two. Yeah, there we go. There we go. 3 lines for the Game Boy Color. Is fourth from bottom. And quite rightly so, because it's kind of terrible. But, hey, here we are. Never mind, that'll do for now. As I said, next time we're going to do the, you know, the version of 3 lines that anyone who would know this game would know of this version. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we'll see you again for another installment of the beautiful gamepad. Till then.